Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side, and the one institution that has stood by our side is the courts. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
I need you to like
Nene, if you've
Hello
dated,
Kitty all the time.
Hi
if you've
everybody,
dated
it
men,
is
Yes.
Princess
you've dated
Ariel
men, there's a
coming to
possibility
you
in
once
your life
again talking about
He's been with a
transphobia
man.
He's been with
in my story
something.
time,
What do
and
you mean he been with
pretty
something?
much
He's been
because
outside.
I still
here's
am
the thing. I
seeing
know
posts
that
where
I
people
know that
are kind
women
of centering
consider trans
men
because
as they squabble the trans girls versus Nene Leakes and all that. I do still feel that Nene Leakes was kind of shading TsMadison with her commentary, and she sideswiped her with that commentary about, she wouldn't date gay men or something like that, as if trans girls are dating gay men, and we're not. And I just want to do a quick story time and just a reminder that, my personal transition doesn't have anything to do with anybody else other than me trying to fix myself, and how I identify, as a woman, and how it came into be. I think it always was there from day one, just from the little town that I grew up in, which mostly was African American, and a little, Bible Belt part of, the U.S. And, when Nene was saying, she wouldn't date certain types of men and this, that, and the other, I just wanted to remind her, like, you're looking at me how I look, And a lot of girls were saying, I'm thick, I'm big back, I'm, a gorilla. They called me all kinds of nasty names in high school, all the way through college, all the way until I got to Florida working at Disney World. And when I was at Disney World, because I moved out of that little town and I got to Florida in Orlando, or we call it Corlando. Excuse me one second. So when I was in Florida, and this was before I was transitioning, so I was just kind of, just doing my thing and just getting by, and people were always misgendering me at every every juncture of my life. Everywhere I went, people were kind of like getting confused. And I just kind of, and through a long, hard process, I kind of found myself. And before I even transitioned, a lot of guys were interested in me. And I had such a horrible self-image of myself because I was always dark-skinned, ugly, gorilla, monkey. And this was coming from from all the way back to my hometown and all the way to Florida. But when I got to Florida, some of the most attractive straight guys that were non-melanated were smiling at me, being very courteous to me, treating me like the girl that I was really meant to be. And I knew who their girlfriends were. And I didn't think anything about it because I was just moving through life, and I didn't think that I could attract men the way that they were coming to me when I got to Florida. And the thing is that these were mostly guys that had girlfriends or wives and stuff like that. And I just didn't understand. I didn't understand it at the time. And my thing to Nene is, I think you center men way too much in your narcissism. And I think TsMadison does also, but in a different way. I think I can stomach her a little bit better because at least she's very straightforward with all of her shit. Nene, I don't know her that well. I just know her toxicity rang out in that video, and it reminded me of, you can't control men. And since you can't control them, you can't really know them because they're not going to tell you everything about themselves. And I would just tell her to have, you have to have an open mind and, let life happen and find somebody who's going to respect you and love you and be committed to you, as opposed to centering, is every man having sex with other people especially trans women, which that is such a offense to you. That's transphobia. That's what gets people like us killed, you know. And so just, I don't know if that's her intention. I don't know what her intention is in doing that whole dramatic thing she did with TsMadison, but it doesn't help anything as you know, as a woman and as a human being. We're all human beings at the end of the day. And I can tell you firsthand, before I ever took hormones or tried to transition or anything, I can go all the way back to high school, I was getting treated just like all the rest of the girls, the real girls. And I was a kid. I didn't see myself. I think I felt it all along. I knew all along I wanted to be a girl. I just never had language. I didn't know what trans was. And I think that was a big part of the problem, coming from a small town, you know, and being that way back then they didn't have internet and cell phones. We only had a few little channels, and most of that stuff had, you know, colonizer stuff on it, and religious colonizer stuff for my family. So it took me a while to figure it all out. But on the road of all of that, girl, the things that guys did in front of me, the stuff that they did to me and stuff like that, meaning when they were interested in me, they would let me know. You know, my hand was touching hot dogs in their pocket, if you know what I mean. I would say, can I have my hand back? Oh, I'm just letting you know. Well, you're letting me know, but can I have my hand back? I did not ask you to take my hand and place it there. Or unzip your pants and show me your hot dog. I did not ask that. But those types of things happen all along the way. And those men were attracted to me. And it took me some time to understand these things, because I hadn't quite figured out that I was trans. But as time went on, I started to feel like more and more suicidal again in my dysphoria. And luckily I met someone who was a trans girl who shook me one night. We were hanging out, and I didn't know she was trans. I thought she was a real girl. And she said the word trans to me, and that's what sent me down a rabbit hole and saved my life, because I was about to take my life because I wasn't fitting in the gay scene. I know I was just a sore thumb over there, and they just saw a girl. They didn't see me as a boy, and those microaggressions was tearing me up, because how I'm being called these slurs and things from people like Nene in my community who don't accept gay people. And then I was in an environment where I was supposed to be accepted, and I wasn't feeling accepted. So I never got into pride parades and stuff like that, because I didn't feel solidarity with those people, because they were microaggressions everywhere I went. And it's even to the same thing when I go on TikTok and stuff live. People come on, I think they want to play the game with me. They're looking at me, judging me. There's always a judgment with this dark skin. And I'm glad that Nene is in her narcissism, and that she can be free to say and judge and stuff like that. But life can be really hard for us. It's not been an easy road for me. Sorry. And I just hope that some African American women realize that nobody can erase you. God made you from your mother or your father, whoever. And you're not a clone. Nobody can clone you except for your twin. And even then, you have your own individual brain and thinking patterns, and you can date whoever the hell you want. Or not date. It's your choice. And stop centering those men so much to the point where you want people dead, and you feel insecure, and you have all that money. You're on your own TV show. You have all the money in the world. Why would you say that to another woman of trans experience, that you think you're better than her because she sleeps with somebody and somebody's attracted to her and attracted to you, and it just takes away her womanhood? Nobody can take away nothing from you. You sound like you've been captured back on the boat coming from Africa somewhere. You sound crazy. It really sounds crazy to me. And the thing is, you're centering somebody who's going to go out there and do whatever they want to do with whoever they want to do. You don't have control over men. You don't have control over them. What you do have control over is your tongue and what you say and how you treat people in this life. And if you're out there spreading hate and spreading, the transphobia, that's just who you are. But be honest about it. Don't be all fake and I'm down with you and then you throw little jabs here and there. That's what made me just pause, because I'm like, girl, you don't even know how these men are and you're centering them as if I'm transitioning for them. I'm not. I was trying to save my own life and my own situation. So I hope you get something out of this. Bye. That's all I'm going to say. That's all. Like, share, subscribe, please, and thank you.
Dive into the magical world of Edwina's Bedtime Adventures by Ariel Williams. Join Edwina, the little hippo with a big imagination, as she drifts off to sleep and embarks on whimsical bedtime journeys. Whether she's saving the day as a brave firefighter, caring for patients as a nurse at Sunny Valley Hospital, or exploring the wonders of the jungle, Edwina's heartwarming tales will capture the imagination of young readers and spark endless bedtime giggles. This is an electronic book. You'll need an EPUB reader or PDF reader to enjoy this whimsical tale. Get your copy today at lulubooks.com or follow the link tree in profile to get your copy and let the adventure begin.
Gas Station Diaries by Adam King is a compelling collection of fictional stories drawn from the author's experiences working at a gas station during the tumultuous year